Welcome back to Yes, I'm Adopted, Don't Make It Weird. This is our last episode of Season 4, and this week we're going to be talking about why adoptees are great.
Because I'm an adoptee,
That
and I am great.
episode over!
Yay! Thanks for joining us. See you next season.
So this season we're ending this season out. So this has been an interesting 12 weeks. We're doing 12 episodes in a season. This is our 4th season. And you can catch up on all the other seasons on yesimadopted.com/media and check out all of our other resources that are there. So there you go.
Good plug.
We did it.
Yeah, this has been an interesting season.
It has.
We've talked about a wide variety of topics. Anywhere from, like how to get involved in adoption advocacy, going out to California. That was a lot of fun.
Right.
We talked about bullying last week.
It's been all over the place. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll be more concise later on. Maybe it'll get even crazier. I don't even know.
It's going to get crazier.
That's probably true.
But we wanted to end on a high note, though.
Yeah.
A lot of the times people love to leave cliffhangers and all this other stuff. It's like, make sure you join us next season to find out what happens.
We'll have to come up with something.
Yeah, I know. Next time on Yes, I'm Adopted, Don't Make It Weird. So, why are adoptees great? What is so good about being an adoptee?
Adaptability.
Like this kind of sounds like I'm playing like devil's advocate. I don't think adoptees are good or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. If that's the stance you're taking, we should do a different show.
Should we just debate?
We should.
Adoptees are terrible because...
And therein lies why we're doing this, right? So, there have been so many things that have come in about how to help raise adoptees, and we talk all the time about identity and about decisions and about taking ownership.
Yep.
And all those things are themes that have been with us for a long time, and they're going to continue to be things that we touch on. But when it comes to so many of the questions that we've addressed in this season, it's been like, man, when this happens, you can help by saying no and doing this. Or when this happens, if you're going to get bullied, then just understand that bullies are this, that, or the other thing, and you're not that.
Yeah. Which
is great to say that these are the things that you're not, but it's also super important, especially in raising kids in general, but especially adoptees, to say that this is who you are.
Yeah.
And it's important to always be instilling that into adoptees and kids, but even into one another. I think it's cool for us to look at other adoptees and say, this is who we are.
Yeah.
Right? So for instance, one of the things that we'll be hitting on is adoptees are perhaps the most resilient people ever.
Right, you have to be.
Right.
Just with as much trauma and, with as much life change that happens as an adoptee.
Right.
And unpredictability, because especially as an infant adoptee, your whole life just starts out on a completely different note from sometimes day one.
Right.
Then it's supposed to naturally happen. And if you were adopted later on in life, then you're used to a certain level of normal, and that's now completely changed.
Right.
And you have to adapt. And if you don't, you crumble and fall apart.
Right.
Adoptees have just learned how to be resilient.
Right.
Throughout all of it.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal to look at so many of the other adoptees we know and to look at our stories and say we've come up against significant adversity, right? Not even adoption related, but just in life. We're people that, I mean, shoot, we run a business and we've owned a business for several years, and that is difficult. It's really hard to start a business.
Don't start a business if you're not ready.
Because there's so many things that just go wrong constantly.
Yeah.
And we're constantly putting out fires, and we're constantly trying to push things forward.
Right.
And as that happens, we have to deal with it.
We have to learn to adapt, and we can't let that adversity bring us down.
Right.
Which for a lot of people it does, unfortunately.
Sure.
There's a lot of people, adoptee, non-adoptee, it doesn't matter. A lot of people, as soon as they come up against something difficult, they just kind of stop or they collapse in on themselves.
Sure.
And it's unfortunate. But that is something that we do see as a common theme in adoptees is we learn to get past that, or we learn to move through that, not avoid it necessarily, because avoidance doesn't do any good.
Right.
You know, you have to learn how to deal with it. And a lot of the people that we talk to, like, they've learned how to deal with their different problems that have come up.
Right. I mean, the adoptees that we know that have dealt with their stuff, right? Like,
that's a big one.
Because you have to be one that deals. And because there's, I mean, all sorts of people will just not deal with their stuff. Right,
deal with your stuff.
But an adoptee has specific stuff that they have to deal with. But if we will, and when we do, it prepares us for so much more. Right. So like even that, to learn how to just lean into the things that are hard.
Right. Lean into the hurt.
Right.
Let it hurt for a while.
Because it's supposed to.
Yeah.
To like adoptees, for the large part that have dealt with their crap, know how to grieve.
Yeah.
And grief is a really difficult emotion to wrap your head around and to master. But those that can are, I believe, the most mature people ever. Right? Because all of us grieve at some point the loss of our parents. And if that hasn't happened for you yet, good for you.
But also,
you're going to.
Buckle up.
Right? But adoptees have to do that twice.
Yep.
Right? At some point, as adults, we usually have to deal with that 2 times, where we've dealt with the loss of an adoptive family, which is a huge, or a birth family, sorry, which is a huge part of losing family members is a huge part of maturation, because we learn to accept life as it is. Right? And then we do it again. Or at least, in my case, I've done that twice now.
Right.
But it's led me to a place where I'm so much more comfortable being me, and so much more comfortable living in the moment.
Right.
Because of those losses, but not just having the losses, but learning to live with the losses. Right. So.
And healing through the process.
Right.
And becoming better on the other side of it.
Right. Because grief and joy go hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that. Like, season 2, we spent, 6 episodes?
Maybe.
On talking about grief. Which was huge. And I think that really did impact a lot of people. And it's something that we're going to continue talking about, because it's so important. You have to go through the process. You cannot avoid the process. And the adoptees that do go through that process on the other side are so much stronger because of it. They're so much more resilient. They're so much more confident in themselves and, in the life that they're living, because they're able to go through these different steps and fully process what it means.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So what else? Why else are adoptees amazing? Besides, a lot of them are Korean, and Koreans are amazing.
Kimchi.
Kimchi, yeah.
Yeah. The third one on my list is one that is an adaptability thing, and it's the reason that adoptees or orphans make the best spies.
Yep.
Which is the chameleon effect.
Yep.
This is, depending on the literature you read, the chameleon effect is something of a disorder, but it's also super handy.
Right. Yeah. And I think the chameleon effect, just kind of blending in with your surroundings, and then the hyper-awareness, they kind of go hand in hand together. Right. And some people might see it as a negative.
Right.
But again, if you wanted to be the best spy in the world, those are 2 of the biggest things you need to have.
Yeah. Blend in and be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's every James Bond movie. Come on, guys.
Who was an orphan.
Yeah.
By the way.
But yeah, being able to study the things going on around you, that has really helped me, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't, in my high school years, I kind of flip-flopped between the chameleon and not, because I would get angry and, make myself known.
Sure.
But I kind of controlled that scenario. And then always being aware of everything going on around me, too, was so important. I needed to have control of every single situation, which to that point was, an anxiety thing. Mm-hmm. If I'm seen and I'm known, I need to have control over that. And so I'm freaking out. But now, getting through that stuff, it's helped me out so much in my relationships with people and just the conversations I have with people as well.
Right. It's one of those things where if you realize what it is, your setback becomes your asset. right? The thing that was difficult now becomes something that's useful because you know what it is and you're deciding to use it.
Yeah.
As opposed to it being something that happens to you and you have to respond.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I mean, like what started as anxiety is now an immensely useful ability to plan.
Yes.
And what started as an attempt to have some sort of mirroring in our lives has resulted in the ability to mirror other people.
Yep.
And that's been really useful as it comes to networking or as it comes to even having good solid friendships with people. It's just we all know what this is and we can recognize it for what it is, but it's made it easier because I can approach you in whatever kind of state of being that you're in and be somebody that's approachable.
Right. So I'm learning that approachable thing.
Well, yeah.
Some of us are further along than others. And that's okay. Some of us are still processing.
And hence why I do the networking.
And I hide behind cameras and computers. Oh, let's talk about insecurities now.
Well, then there's even that, right? We know when to stay in our lanes.
Yes. That's huge right there.
Right?
And that took me so long to learn, unfortunately.
We're still learning that one.
It took me so long to figure that out. Because I wanted to do absolutely everything. You know, I wanted to be that person that was a jack of all trades, and I would just, you know, be good at absolutely anything. So people would go to me. And part of it was a pride thing. Part of it was an ego thing. You know, I spent so long standing in the background that I wanted to be on the foreground of everybody else's mind, saying, he's the guy to go to for all your problems. I don't want that. That's so tiring.
It sounds exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. But having processed through all of that, and the reason why I needed to be that guy... Right. Again, understanding that, you know, like, for the longest time, I just played, like, you know, like, I was just in the background. And I thought I needed to be on the foreground because that's, you know, my dad. He knows prominent salesman, owned his own business, sold it off, you know, great networker.
Right.
And I thought I needed to be that. But because I was able to process through a lot of these things, I now realize who I am and the identity that I've decided to be. And then everything else just kind of lines along with that now.
Right.
And I don't want to be that guy that everybody goes to. Don't ask me to do things. I'm tired.
They're still asking you.
I know. Let's just say it now. No.
Good luck. I hope that works out for you later on down the line. Yeah, and then there's stuff that I think is kind of an individual quirk that just kind of falls into the 80-20, right? Overall, a mature adoptee, I think, is more mature than a mature non-adoptee.
Yeah.
Like, that's just something I think is true.
Yeah.
I don't really have any empirical evidence to back that up, other than that I've met a lot of mature people. And the ones that are adopted are mature just on a different level. I can't explain it. I just know that's how it is.
Yep.
You know, it's a comfortability. It's like meeting somebody that's like 60 or 60 or 70 that's old, right? And has lived their life and now doesn't care anymore. Except that this person is like 30. Like, you meet an adoptee and it's like meeting an old soul, but it's really just somebody that's learned how to grieve already.
Oh, is that why you're so curmudgeon-y?
Maybe.
You're just an old man.
Look, man, I'm really happy with me. I'm not out to like impress anybody anymore.
Right, that's true. That's true.
And I'm really good with that. So take it or leave it. That's.
I used to be so cool and relatable with people, and now I just don't care. I'm just old. Leave me alone.
I love it. I love it so much. We've talked about that. One of my dreams is to sit on my porch in my rocking chair with my lap blanket and just yell at kids to get off my lawn.
I remember you doing that at my bachelor party like 12 years ago. Yep. So let us know what else you guys think. Why are adoptees amazing? For those parents out there, what makes your kid amazing? What separates them from all the other kids in the entire universe? We're going to go with the whole universe here right now. And we want to know. We want to be able to support each other. We want to be able to encourage each other. And for those parents that are having a hard time, because we know you're out there, and we are so glad that you're here watching this video right now, because we want you to know that it does get better. As cliche as that sounds, it does get better. But it requires a lot of hard work, and you must be willing to do that work. So, put in the comments down below what your guys' thoughts are, what makes adoptees amazing. If you guys are having a difficult time, make sure you check out the group. We have an amazing community. There's like 1,400 people in there.
Yeah.
And only like 6 trolls, so it's okay.
Hey, that's a good
Hooray! Ratio. And make sure that you guys post your questions if you guys are looking for some advice in there, because we have an amazing community of people that we're wanting to help out. And that's it.
So that concludes Season 4.
Season 4 is over.
Guess I'm Adopted, don't make it weird. At least the weekly Tuesday show.
Yeah.
We're going to be taking the rest of September off. And we're going to be back in October, the first week in October, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
That's what we're shooting for. We've got a lot of cool projects that we're working on, and we're trying some new things, and so be sure to check those out. You'll probably be able to see us on Instagram whenever we eat out, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's what Instagram is for.
That's what people want. They look at the food and be like, oh man, I want that. I had it 3 times this week.
Yeah. And we're going to keep doing little random updates here or there as we come across some cool things that may or may not impact you. Be sure to check out our resources page for all the stuff that we're constantly updating with new resources as we come across things that we think are helpful. And yeah, and we're going to take a couple of weeks off and play video games.
We're going to play some video games. Borderlands 3 comes out next week.
Does your adoptee play too many video games? Are you adopted and play a lot of video games?
If so, buy Borderlands 3 and let us know your gamer tag on PlayStation. So, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and then maybe Davo will join in your Borderlands 3 gameplay with you if you like, comment, share, and subscribe. We will see you guys in a couple weeks after we take a small break. We are so excited to be coming back. Make sure you guys check out the website if you guys are bored and you want to go see all of the old videos. Or go watch Season 2 when we talk about trauma and grief a lot. And prepare to get really sad. Yep. That's it. That's how I'm ending it. Getting sad. Alright.
Maybe we can get Gearbox to sponsor the show.
Gearbox. Hashtag sponsorship. Let's do it!
Borderlands 3. Somebody contact those people and see if they'll give us some money.